Good morning, babes, and welcome to another Trans Talk TikTok that I just rolled out of bed to do. Alright, so today we are going to be talking about how to choose a name. And for a lot of people, it's a process. For most of us, it takes forever. I have gone through so many names, I kid you not. I didn't even know I was trans in elementary school, and I started in elementary school trying to pick a name. And I am 26 years old, and I've only just now settled on a name that I think absolutely works. And it's been a process. So I'm going to talk about exactly how I figured out what name works best for me. So when I first came out as trans, I picked the name Blake because I felt like even if I realized all of a sudden, for whatever reason, that my mom was right and it was just a phase and I'm not actually trans, Blake works for a girl too. And so I coasted along with that sort of like mediocre name that didn't really work as a name for me, but it was like in the middle enough that I felt like I wasn't making anybody upset by using it. I used that name from 2017 through 2018, like the end of 2018, and into 2019. Now in 2019, I realized that I needed to pick a name that worked well for me, but finding one that I actually liked was super difficult. So I kind of let my husband choose my name. We got divorced, but he picked the name Jonah. So I went with Jonah for quite a while as a name, even though it legally took a long time to get it changed because of the pandemic. I ended up using Jonah in my personal life and my professional life, with coworkers, at doctor's offices, with the car insurance company, but still it didn't feel like the right name. It could be because it was chosen by somebody else. It could be because I accepted it to please someone elses, because Jonah is also a biblical name and I was still trying to have a good relationship with my family, but it still didn't fit right. I didn't have the same dysphoria that I did when I was using Blake or my dead name, but I still didn't feel like me whenever that name was being called. Let's backtrack for a second to middle school. Now, I had tried on a million names by the time I reached middle school. I'm still in the process of trying to write out all the different names I've gone by because I'm doing that for a project I'm working on. But there was one particular name that stuck, and I came across it doing name research for a character I was working on in a story I was writing that I'm probably never going to publish because I was writing it in middle school and that was probably garbage. But that particular name stuck with me forever. I had that name and I used it to identify myself and to write characters who lived out the life that I wanted to live, that I wasn't able to live because I was still considered a girl and I didn't know that I could be a boy and that was acceptable. And I used that name in character role plays all through high school. I used that name to write secret diary entries and under the guise of fictional character development. I used the character, an image that I had developed of that character as profile pictures and all these things. And it was kind of a secret thing that I just kept for me. That was just, this is me, that I hide from the world and I keep to myself because, I want to have something that can exist without judgment, without being told that it's not allowed to be a part of the world. And I realized that's my name. That is me. So it's almost a year to the T that my official name change court order documents came through for the name Jonah, that I decided I'm going to change my name to something that actually honors me, that feels like me. Even though it's a weird name and almost nobody has this name and it's incredibly uncommon and I'm probably gonna get teased for it, but it honors that young me who felt like I wasn't allowed to exist. And felt like I had to, pretend to be fictional characters in order to live the life that I wanted, which is just to be myself. So the full name that I've chosen is a fictional character's name as my first name, one of my favorite characters of all time. My middle name is that name that middle school me came up with, and then my last name is a name that I've been writing under for ages, and have chosen to take on because nobody else has that name, and also because I want to start my own legacy. I don't want to take on other people's family baggage. I don't want to take on other people's generational curses. So I went for the full revamp of my entire name. I chose to go for the full, just redo the whole thing. Start over. Give me the life that I deserve. Give me the name that I chose. And yeah, so that was my process. That was how they basically just starting in elementary school. I knew I didn't like my name. I tried on a bunch of different names, and it just was a journey. Now here we are, 2021, I'm 26 years old, and I finally found a name that actually works for me, that I've chosen for myself, that I'm not making exceptions for other people. And that's my advice to you. Pick a name for yourself, don't let somebody else do it. And pick a name for yourself, not for other people. Because other people come and go. But you're here, in your body, with yourself, until you die. And it's better to choose a name that honors you and that you feel happy with than to settle for a name that would make other people comfortable. I hope this helped. I know it's not exactly a step-by-step on how to pick a name, but it's a lesson and an important one that people take way too long to learn, and I'd rather just give it to you right now.